welcome back. I'm Michael Sandler, your host on Inspire Nation, along with
CJ Lou from the Fired Up with CJ show.
Woohoo!
Woohoo!
If if you've ever wanted to find the flow or get back in the flow, even during these interesting times, then do we have the show for you? Today we'll talk about following the energy and things flow in the kindest, gentlest, easiest way to dive back in. That plus we'll talk about RV magic, sitter magic, puppet magic, late night walking magic, reframe rapture, college chaos, precious pause, fuzzy fire, and what in the world a squirrel named Southern Comfort has to do with anything. So welcome back to the show, CJ. Are you ready to
I
shine?
am ready to shine. Woo! Okay,
Woo!
what chakra, Michael, do you want? 5, 4, 2, 4, 2, 5, 7, 4, 1.
Let's get everybody rooted and grounded today. We'll go with a little one.
Okay, patchouli, red spikenard, and the velveteer. Here we go. Oh, it's the smelly one. Okay, woo! Okay, there we are, all grounded
All
and
right,
in
well,
the
give me some
flow.
positives.
Um, well, I told you about taking this class. It's called Gene Keys, and it's based on the 64 hexagrams of the Tao Te Ching, or I Ching, and it's different levels of consciousness. It's your specific path towards consciousness. Everyone has a different set of things that they're working on, and so I think we talked about this. Mine is rapture, is the city or like the ultimate destination, which is this just unbounded joy, which is when you ultimately go into the flow. Right, when you completely release yourself and say, take me, I'm yours. Awful things happen to me, take me, I'm yours. I'm rapturous. Great things happen to me, take me, I'm yours. I'm rapturous. It's like you're in rapture regardless, because I think you can be so equanimous and light even in the midst of hardship. And so I've been thinking like there's this art of contemplation where you just are thinking about one particular topic all the time. I literally am waking up and thinking about this topic. That's how much I've been thinking about it,
That's
contemplating it.
kind of cool.
It is, and one of the things that came as a reward for that work was, I've had kriyas, which was described to me initially as grantis or kriya. Grantis are like compacted, stuck energy. So when you have kundalini or energy flow from you, you'll hit a little block, which makes you have a kriya, which is like a spontaneous weird movement or cough or whatever. And I've had these basically for the last 7 to 10 years. I mean, for a long time. And they've been described to me as blockages, like removal of samskara, and they have kind of a negative cadence to it, just kind of, something negative is being removed, something bad is blocked, it has this blocked, bad karma release, klesha, like whatever word, it's something like dark is being released, which I realize that frame, like it's all about reframing things. So when I really think, okay, rapture, as they describe it in many, many religions, may look like a Sufi spinning around in a rapturous dance. It may look like someone raising their arms like this and being still for long periods of time. It may be like rave dancing. That's like a drug-induced kind of rapture, but it's being so engrossed and one with everything that you're moving. And when I actually reframe my movements as that, like I'm one with everything and I'm moving, and I view it as a rapture, like on path to rapture, it literally just changed everything for me. Just that small little reframe of just thinking about it in just a slightly different way. I'm opening up my energy. I am able, and when I open up my energy, I can contain more energy for flowing. It feels so much better than removing some scars. It was just a subtle little thing. And I think, Sometimes we try to make huge transformations, and it can be as subtle as thinking about one thing a lot, not in an obsessive compulsive way, but in a contemplative, reflecting way, and how just one small shift can really just change a lot, a real lot, just in a very short period of time. So that's my positive thing. How about you? Tell me your uplifting story for this week.
We've had a lot of good stuff this week, so I'm not sure where to begin. A lot of maybe it has been one subtle shift, or saying a shift of the dial. I was talking with Dr. Andrew Newberg on consciousness in the brain and spirituality in the brain just before this. And we were talking about how a lot of things, it may be just a tuning of the dial. And like you're all of a sudden on K-Spirit, all
Right.
spirit all the time. And we've certainly had some shifts over the last few weeks where we really dove into our morning practice, or been working on different clearings, and been working on reframing. This RV tour coming up seemed really daunting to figure out, but instead of focusing on it being potentially daunting, I focused on, why does it come so easily? Why is it so incredibly easy? And asking these lofty questions of why? And just every time my mind would go to, wow, that seems intimidating, bring it back to easy. And we'd been debating getting a kind of our dream RV, getting our dream RV and going around and taking a bunch of trips, or renting an RV, trying it out, see what is even better than what we think is our dream RV, and then getting something from there. But there were no rentals that were even close to what we were looking for. And we get to bring our kitties along. So it has to be a very particular vehicle that will be kind of kitty safe, kitty proof, and have a back room, and we can keep kitties in when we get on and off. And I'm going, it's just going to flow. It's just going to work out. I don't know how. It actually seems quite intimidating. We've done some big things, but this is like, you're going to have to fly across the country, inspect an RV, get a person to do this, get a person to do that, drive it back. And I'm like, it's just going to flow. And that reframing with Mind of Creator, 3 days ago now, I think it was 3 days ago, I got on the RV rental site, which I've been on quite a bit, outdoorsy. And all of a sudden, hey, wait, I think that meets our parameters. And I look, and that meets our parameters, and that meets our parameters. And, well, it doesn't have a washer dryer in it because we want to stay COVID safe notes, so, social distancing wherever we go. But it's got almost everything else. And I call the guy up, or actually first we text back and forth. And have you ever heard the expression, funny you say that, CJ?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Do you like when somebody says, funny you say that? Because I typed in, does it shows in the different things that it has all the amenities we want except a washer dryer. And he writes back, funny you should say that. But we were just talking about getting a washer dryer.
Yes.
Total, and you go on the calendar and it was booked except for exactly the dates we're looking.
Wow. So it's a rental, oh my gosh, that's great. Oh my gosh.
It's so exciting. It's
How
like 35
35.
foot. It's the maximum that'll go into almost any national or state park.
Wow, that's really big.
We spoke with an animal communicator, and 2 of the 3 kitties are like, all right, let's go. The other kitty's like, please don't put me in that thing. And
Is it a trailer? What is it? An RV?
A Class A RV.
Class A RV. Okay, I'm looking to see what a picture. Oh my God, it's like a bus that you would have for like movie stars.
It's a magic bus. It's exactly what it is. So it has a separate bedroom with a door that closes. It has a dinette in it. It has room to sit and relax and to do interviews, Skype interviews. I think it'll be perfect for our purposes.
Wait, okay, so I'm looking at, so it looks like, so it has this is like when you go to a movie set, you see in movies where there's like a big thing where there's like a little living area and then a room in the back. That kind of scenario?
We're going to be in it for 6 weeks. So, yeah, absolutely. It's a small rolling house.
Wow.
So, and it's one of the more eco ones out there. It's supposed to get up to 14 miles to the gallon, which is excellent for what we're looking at. We wanted to go to Alaska. It looks like that's out. They've extended the lockdown into Canada.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to tour around and we're going to meet guests and we're going to interview them. And then on 10/10/20 is our 10-year anniversary. And we're going to be in this someplace special and renew our vows. My guess is Grand Canyon.
Oh,
Don't
wow.
know yet. So
Nice.
it's in
Beautiful.
flow based on our mindset.
Mm.
Totally coming out of there.
Mm. And what happened with the sitter and puppet magic?
Well, two different things. So sitter magic is um, we have not taken a real vacation in an exceptionally long time because we've never had people that we felt we could trust with the kitties.
Mm.
Now, in this case, kitties are coming with us, but we have so many animals at the house that we need a house sitter.
Mm.
And magical flow, one person led to the next, led to the most perfect couple that's going to look after our house during this time.
Nice.
All in state of flow.
Mm. Mm. I like it. I like it. And I think that it's kind of a combination of, it seems like when getting into this flow state, I'm realizing, because I've been thinking about it myself, it's like a don't know mindset, right? Like, how's this going to happen? Don't know. When is it going to happen? I honestly don't know. Will it happen to the best possible outcome? I'm not entirely sure. But I can say that this whole COVID thing has worked out really well for my eldest son, and we don't have enough distance to see that it's probably working really well for my youngest son, society in whole. I mean, it's just hard to get the big picture. Right now, we're in the midst of the suffering and the hardship, real hardship. I've coached a couple of people who are just having an awful time. So, and even that, maybe there's some positive thing. I don't understand why, how, but yeah. So for
There's a
you,
couple, I
how
think.
are you getting into flow? Sorry.
Well, that's okay. I'm not trying to think things out. So I'll use the brain. It's not that I shut off the brain, but I'm not trying to reason my way through things. And there is a level of surrender that I can't recall when I've experienced this like this before. Maybe when I
Mm,
was injured and laying on the couch, where
mm,
I'm not going to try to fight anything. I'm going to visualize. I'm going to play with it in my mind. I may go to the drums and bring it to ceremony, and I'm certainly going to keep working on the inner stuff, but I'm not going to try. So I'm like, I want this dream RV. I want this dream RV. I want this dream RV. And what I hear inside of me is just wait. Just wait. If that's what you're supposed to be, that's what it'll be. And, well, a rental's come up.
mm,
There were no rentals of the type I was looking for available. And here it is. And wait, here it is for the dates that I'm looking for. And it meets almost every single one of my parameters. Coming out of, I'm like, you guys take this. Angels, guides, light workers, whatever you want to call it. You take this if this is meant to be. And it is felt like, and we all have that sensation of destiny, that sensation of we're being pulled forward toward this.
mm,
I'm like, for really? That sounds kind of complicated. How is that going to happen? But I'm pulled toward it. Like years ago, I did a bike ride across the whole country. It came to me in a dream to help people with learning disabilities and attention deficit disorder. And 6 weeks before I'm supposed to go out, I didn't even know this existed. And I'm like, well, if this is supposed to happen, doors are going to throw themselves open. I'm not going to even try for it.
mm,
That's what's happening here. And that's what I'm seeing happening for a lot of people with COVID right now. What I'm getting out of my coaching and my automatic writing is from the guides, plain and simple. We don't have permission to know what to do. In other words, there is no possible way for us to have a clue what's going on right now by design so that we will learn and grow and allow into everything.
mm.
We
Yeah,
don't have permission to know the outcome right now.
yeah, yeah. I mean, it makes sense. I was listening to an MP3 on the kind of changes that we're going through, and all these predictions that we're going through some massive change that's going to happen like right now, and everything has to be changed, destroyed our fundamental assumptions, our systems, banking systems, government systems, everything. It's like when everything is torn down, then we can rebuild. And so, as hard as this destructive process is, you can see the cracks with what was, right? I mean, you can see like things weren't working in our government process. Things weren't working in our financial world. Things weren't working in terms of equality and justice. Like all these things were kind of broken, and it's kind of like maybe later, maybe later. Okay, we'll deal with this later. Oh, maybe, and now it's kind of all it's broken so much that we're going to have to fundamentally rethink how we're thinking about things. And so I think that that's perhaps one of the most beautiful things that's happening and one of the hardest things that's happening, because who wants that? You want it afterwards, but while you're going through it, you don't want it.
Nobody wants this level of, well, there might be a few people who really thrive on uncertainty. The majority of us don't want this level of uncertainty. And there's still a collective grief. Can I please have my life back? And we can't go back. Something better can be birthed for the majority of us. And I'm not taking away from illness and loss and tragedy, but for those of us that remain, something beautiful is going to be built out of this. There is no guarantee. There is every chance when this many systems go apart as quickly as they are, that it's giving room, it's giving space. That's the term allowance again, for something new to be born.
Yeah, with this idea of the precious pause. It's like we never had a time to pause and not know. I was thinking, I had seen this, Louis C.K. Had this one comedy bit, and he was talking about how kids nowadays don't know the unknown. Anytime you're like, I wonder whether, like, we don't wonder. We just look on the internet and know. And that sense of wondering and pausing and reflecting and imagining what it would be like kids my age, that are my age, millennials at the time of computing, when you can type anything into the internet and then know, where they've been raised on a sense of knowing everything. Actually, sometimes I think maybe at a detriment, right? When you know everything, when you're in the unknown, it feels very, very disarming. And if you're constantly knowing and wanting to know more and on a feeding frenzy of knowing and typing everything in the internet and watching videos and learning about how to, make a souffle and, like whatever you're learning, there's not a lot of time to pause. And when there is time to pause and reflect, we fill it, myself included. It's not like I'm any better. Like I'm in the shower listening to Audible book because I like listening to an Audible book, right? That's like kind of the perfect time to pause. But I'm trying to just in the middle of the day, just sit and do nothing, which is so unlike what I do. But and we're forced to do this precious pause. And so, contemplating, I'm beginning to understand the virtues of contemplation during these pregnant pause. So instead of just pausing and going, oh, what a crazy day, I'm exhausted. Like, okay, time for me to think about rapture. How could I make this day the most rapturous day possible? What are my deepest desires? And if I have aversions that are part of that, because desires, the flip side is aversions to what is, how can I shift and lighten that up so that it's not just this, known factual entity that's bad, right? I was just listening to another MP3. I've been listening to a ton of MP3s about how, the mind and mathematics, everything used to be one. And then we moved to a dualistic world. And now it's about the Trinity and all three, being separate but also together and one. And it's getting to that place of oneness again, because we've been in our own individuated selves, typing, knowing, and seeing that all these things are separate. But how about if mathematics and body, and it's one, it's not separate, it's non-dual. And I thought, well, that I hope is the time that we're getting to right now of unity. But there's a lot of discomfort that comes in that whole process, I think.
And to me, it takes a lot of reframing that objects in the mirror are not as they appear to be.
Hmm.
You can look at all the stories, and I admittedly have looked a lot online, although I take the very precursory glance now and I check in with my energy. But I realize that what I'm looking at, objects are not as they appear to be. On the surface, you're going, whatever side, I'll put that in quotes because there are no sides. It's one arm fighting against the other arm on the same body.
Right. It's a
We're
good
all
way of
one,
looking
folks.
at it.
Um, but you can look at it and go, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. Well, this person's saying this person's doing that, this took place, the other took place. Or you can say, oh wow, the puzzle's coming together. First it has to fall apart and we get all these different pieces. And now it's coming together and we have no clue and cannot try to even, we can envision, burn into your consciousness how amazing of a future you would like. I think we all get to do that together. But we have no clue how it's going to look. And so when you look at something and you judge, this is bad. This is even worse. This is horrific. Well, first off, that's not where you want to place your mind to bring about this new, better, special world. But secondly, if you go, oh, wow. So that's part of this theatrics, this part of this act of the play. Is it for it to look like this? And any good movie, up till about 5 minutes beforehand, crap's gone down. It looks terrible. It's Dark Night of the Soul as part of the rebuilding for something magical. That's where we are, folks.
Yeah.
We're in the middle of the movie. We aren't even close to the end where we get together and it's kumbaya, but I believe it's coming.
Yeah. I think it's even, this was saying, so like it's looking at the facts, right? The facts are that we're in COVID. The facts are that things have changed, or maybe they haven't. I don't know. Like we don't like we.
Well, that's
are,
why when you say facts, I'm going to put it in quotes. It's all our perception.
That's what I'm saying.
We
So
don't
like
know
we
either what we know or don't know.
but we feel like all these things are given facts, and the outcome are given truth. So my son found out that he will be going back to colleges. Have different processes with going back. My eldest son is going to go back. There's some restrictions, but they'll probably be all hanging out together, having a mask but socially distant experience, and probably not even that. Okay, that seems like most of the colleges that are going back are like that. My youngest son, who's at Johns Hopkins, they have a different stance because I think they kind of have to, because they know so much. So
that's where we get our stats.
I know. So they're going to be going in a COVID world in which, like, the kids will not be, most of the kids will be taking online classes. They cannot leave their room. They cannot have anyone in their room. They cannot have any social distancing even. They can't even eat at a dining hall, which has led us to go like, well, if all these things are facts are true and you view them as truths, then this is kind of awful because you'll just be like tottering back and forth in front of your room in the dining hall without talking or seeing anyone. So why not just be at home? You know, like
based on being an RA, CJ, I don't think that's going to happen.
That's what I think so too. But we don't know. Like, and so if you listen to those facts and you seem all those are true, you could draw a line and go, well, that's going to suck. Better stay home. But you really don't know what the facts are. Could it be actually a more fun experience than if you had been on campus? Seems like it's not, because it's not what you were expecting it to be. But that's all in your mind. You know, how you see it and how it could come to play is really how you see it. The RV is going to come to us in a flow. I'm not going to have to do anything. And boom, it comes. You know, it's like, it's a mindset, I think.
And you hit the nail on the head. This is certainly a time to me where things are coming to all of us. Information is coming to all of us. In the long run, affluence, abundance can come to all of us. But things are not going to come in the traditional channel. In the past, it used to be look for things in the channel that things normally come. Now it is look elsewhere. Because you might want A and instead you're going to get Z. And it turns out you're going, oh my God, why did I get Z? It's so far away from A. It might have been exactly what you needed. This time period where we're going, this sucks, this is terrible, and I don't want to take away. Loss is loss of income, loss of home, all of this stuff. I get it. I've actually been there. I totally get it. But objects are not as they appear to be. If we can go, all right, this is just terrible, I'm just going to laugh into it. no matter what. Universe has a sense of humor. If we allow that, then we're allowing something even more beautiful to be built for us. Because I truly
Hmm.
believe we're in an intelligent, informed universe. We're in a quanta field, an akashic field, whatever you want to call this field of love and energy. And that there is a knowledge and a presence that has a lot greater, better idea of what's going on than we do. And if we try to fight it, we're just trying to hold on to the old. If instead an RV pulls up that's completely different than what we want, and we go, wow, that was flow. All right, sign on the dotted line.
It goes back to like the whole thing about rapture, right? Like rapture kind of looks like, oh, it's beautiful with like puppy dog, but it doesn't, sometimes it doesn't come in that package, you know? Sometimes it's like brim and firestone and you're having rapture. It's not
And you do
expecting.
your best to say thank you for the brim and firestone.
Yeah.
I've been snapped into a couple times and said thank you. This really, really sucks, but I have to believe something magical is going to come out of it. And also, going back to like near death experience for me, number one, there was on some level a conscious choice. That choice was this hurts like hell. I can choose to focus on poor me, woe is me, and without judgment and say, what happened? God has forsaken me, which I did when I got hit by a car in Europe, right, trying to make it to the Tour de France. I'm like, God is dead. There is no God. I've been forsaken. And that led to 6.5, 7 years of PTSD and
Mm,
racking back pain in pain centers. After I had my near death experience, I said, if you choose poor me, woe is me, that's the road you're going to go down. And
mm-hmm.
so I wouldn't even think about it. Instead, something amazing is coming out of this, something incredible is coming out of this. And whether I chose it or got in alignment with that positive flow, I have no idea. But it all worked out. Not easy. I mean, I was, lots of titanium parts and stuff. But it all worked out because I chose to say something beautiful can come out of this.
Yeah. I love it. Okay, so what's the puppet magic that is that something that you chose as well in the late night walking magic?
So the late night walking magic is has been blissful, and I'm not usually, well, I like to be at bed at 8:30 and up at 4:30.
Hmm.
But since the miscarriage, I have chosen to spend as much quality time with Jessica as I can. And she's wanted to go out. It's like her thing after work, her carrot. I'd like to go for a late night walk.
Mm.
And so I've thrown away the bedtime, not worried about it, and said, Spirit will carry me through the lesser sleep. So far, so good. I think it'll all work out. So that's where my focus is. But we've been taking walks, even into the dark at night, and just talking and dreaming. And it's been
Oh,
so sacred and special and so healing for the two of us.
nice, beautiful. That's very
So
beautiful. So how, tell me about Colorado. I mean, in Seattle, it will stay light until like 9:30, 10.
here it's somewhere between 8:30 and 9 now. The sun
Okay.
sets just a tick after 8. So twilight by 9. Last night we finished at about
Wow,
9:30.
that is really late night walking. Wow.
So but it's blissful, and we go to the local Thai restaurant and we get her. I joke and call it the Bobo Fett. I get her the boba Thai tea. I call it Boba Fett when I
Oh,
go
so
there.
cute.
So, and then she walks around with that, and it's just such a sweet, innocent summer
Mm,
activity. Leave most of it behind, but really, there's a lot of talk and dreaming. Not, well, what if this happens, and what if that happens? But what do we want? Where do
mm,
we want to go? How do we want things to be? What's the next adventure look like?
mm,
And really dreaming again, because when you have baby on the way, that's your dream, is baby dream.
mm,
And then when baby goes away to come again another day, you're like, what now?
mm.
And she's really lit up. Oh my God, she's starting a some sort of a women's manifestation master class.
Mm.
She's been on the mic a whole bunch with me. She's really lit up. But we go for these walks and we dream together.
Oh, that's beautiful. And when you think about the healing that has happened, because you said they're healing walks, how would you describe kind of the healing that's happening through talking and dreaming?
We're letting go of the detachment of what we thought our dreams were or what we thought the timeline. When you have baby on board, You already have a timeline,
Oh,
a very
right.
long timeline, and then that gets etch-a-sketched. And a lot more has gotten etch-a-sketched in good ways. And for those who don't know etch-a-sketch, you draw on it, you shake it, it goes away. Uh, Google, we
Yes.
love you. And so it has allowed us to reinvent, really surrender and reinvent. Are we going on tour? Yes, absolutely. God, that sounds scary. I have no idea how it's going to come about, but I'm going to focus on it's just going to magically, amazingly appear. And we've been doing that with our classes. It's going to magically, amazingly appear. And why does it come so easily? Why does it come so easily? And it's allowing us to dive into the flow of the unknown and allowing the universe to bring us things faster and better than we could have imagined had we
Right.
tried to
So
go there
putting in
with the
that
head.
in the dream state is kind of like, well, if I really, I would like this, but if it does come, I don't want to actually have to work my tail off. I don't want to. Please come this in a package. It's just the easiest, simplest, good kind of. So it's that kind of being super clear with your desires and what you want and what it would look like and just
Total
clarity.
flow and catching, and this is where I'm still working on it, catching when you say, oh, wow, I don't know if I have the time to blah, blah, blah. Oh, wow. Well, what if we're on tour and I'm still working, blah, blah, blah. And oh, no,
Yeah, I
got to
see.
drop that. Work on the energetic
No planning and organizing, no planning
and
and org. Yeah.
no worrying, no fetching, no saying, no leaving the present moment. I can plan out a tour in the present moment and not say, well, I'm concerned this could happen and concerned that could happen. That's where, where as it goes, energy goes where attention flows or vice versa. If I keep focusing on those worries, and that doesn't mean you don't dot your I's and cross your T's, have a checklist. But if I keep worrying on those worries, that's what I create.
Mm.
If I say this is going to be an effortless tour and flow with so much time and lots of energy to spare, and oh my God, I see our show taking off to a whole new level, and we're going to have maybe it's a patron campaign or maybe it's on YouTube, and everybody's going to want to follow us, and we're going to go out to national parks and places, social distancing at a time where most people are stuck at home, and let's share what we're doing, and let's help light people up and bring this light to everybody. Something really cool is going to come out of it
Right.
versus focusing on the, well, I don't know, and time wise, I don't know. And huge difference in energy there.
Right. We'll figure it out. We'll figure it
Yeah.
out. Yeah.
Universe will figure it out. We'll come along for the ride. Put us on the magic bus.
I like it. I like it. Okay, so that goes into all the magic, late night magic, puppet magic. I think you're about to show me. You told me about this last week.
I'm so comfort. I'm here to teach you all about manifestation.
Oh, it's a manifestation. What is the name of your dear animal?
My name is Southern Comfort.
Uh,
This is fairly PC. Let me show you my nut.
okay, how did you come up with the name Southern Comfort? Hi, Southern Comfort. Tell me about your name.
Well, that's my name, and I told him what my name was.
I see. How's your
So I
classes?
had nothing to do with it. It was all something
I'm
that
not even
comes to
talking to you. What are you doing? How rude. I was talking to Southern Comfort and you interrupted us, right?
me.
Okay, okay, so are you teaching a class? What's the class like, Southern Comfort?
Yep, it's a class. It's a boot camp on getting grounded and recharging. In essence, it's like collecting all your nuts and storing them up for the winter.
Okay, I can see that you're having great fun with this.
Well,
What's the crowd's reaction?
you
Southern,
know,
what are you seeing, Southern, when you see people's faces on the other end?
they're all laughing and cracking up. In fact, it's dangerous to drink something while I'm around. The name. But with that said, there is a little bit of concern as to whether I might be cracking people up just a little too much. But that's again why I'm a squirrel and I got nuts.
You can go nuts. So instead of like, woohoo, it's like, go nuts.
Woo-hoo.
Is that what your woohoo looks like?
Woo hoo.
Did Mr. Rogers have puppets? Didn't he have puppets? He had those puppets. Oh no, there were puppets in the background. I see.
Now, I've been talking with Jessica, and we've been talking about having a kids show and
Oh,
have
cute.
a kids puppet show on YouTube covering the very same topics.
I love that. Can I be a heckling witch? I think I would be a really good heckling witch that comes to visit. But then that's a good witch.
That was my concern. Want to make sure that you're a good witch with a happy broom.
I don't know if I can show this to you. You may have to turn your eyes because I have to show Michael something that's related to this conversation.
I'm a little concerned, but you're a lady, so I'll oblige.
I think one of oh, good. All right, so for the longest time, my son and I have played this game. We were in Oregon and we found a little shoe in a bush, which I thought was a baby shoe in a bush. I thought was so weird. And my son was going off on like we were all going off on like, how can this baby shoe? How can you miss a baby shoe? How could it be in the bush? Like what is happening? How did this whole thing occur? So it was a little baby boot. And my eldest son was the one who was most verbose about this baby boot. And so, unbeknownst to him, when he wasn't looking, I grabbed the boot. And then I would like shove the boot in like different places so he would discover the boot and like he would be like opening up his notebook at school and there'd be like this little blue leather boot that would fall out of this thing. So for the longest time we were hiding this boot and I don't even know where the boot went, but it left. Then we went to stuffed animals. So I had this little animal. This is my little animal. And it's my sons call me the snow leopard. Oh, hi. Oh, baby. You have to turn because you're not going to like this. So I have this little snow leopard. And my younger son, Caden, and I have been sending a snow leopard back and forth from Johns Hopkins. I have another son. I don't think we're doing, and then I do this with my husband, and we hide we hide what are the black and white bears called? Panda bears.
Pandas?
We
Yeah.
hide a panda. So, but this is the one for my son. So he thought it would be interesting to hide it on top of my light. Okay, so he hid it
Oh,
next
no.
to my light, which I didn't
Oh,
know.
no.
And so I would meditate and turn, and I'm like, that smells weird, like something weird, like someone's cooking something in the kitchen. I
Someone's
told you to turn your eyes.
concerned here.
And
But it's
this is
concerning.
what
You didn't say
happened.
for him to block it. Oh no! You have melted.
So this almost started a fire in our house. This used to have a charred out black belly. It's all black and burnt. You can still see the little black remnants here of my
Oh my
little
gosh!
guy.
And that's fuzzy fire.
Yeah, that's fuzzy fire. This is the fire that almost happened in our house with my little fuzzy spotted snow leopard. But so please don't have your animals look. They may be terrified. I'm the evil witch of the west.
I think I might have a
Help
little
me!
PTSD.
Help me! Get me out of this household!
I'm just not sure anybody's still listening to us by this point.
Anyways, that was my fuzzy fire. I don't even know. I mean, it was
Yeah.
shocking. If this thing could have caught our whole house on fire.
So, what is the spiritual significance?
I don't know. I think I have to. You know what I've been doing, Michael? I'm not really sure why, but I keep on spilling things. I'm taking a big thing of iced tea, and then all of a sudden the tea bags plop out of it unexpectedly, and there's like a big thing of water on. This has happened since I told you the last time I made soap for my husband, and we had soap spill all over the floor. Things have been spilling. I'm not sure what it means. It probably
I
means things
think
are overflowing.
Well, it could be overflowing with abundance. How I read that is there's an energy of discordance right now that's necessary for this next change or growth. And it's sort of like we're all in a life quake right now, and everything is shaking on us. So, of course, things are going to spill. Of course, you're going to fall, not fall, but drop little things at this time. That's natural and normal, and it's okay. And it means welcome to my world, CJ. But
Do you spill a lot?
I am the most careful spiller on the planet. I
Oh,
am meticulous. I am mindful. And I spill food and I spill water. And Jessica will watch me trying to be extra careful, and it guarantees something's going to spill. It's I don't know what it is. I heard once that I've never fully incarnated in the body in this lifetime. It's like a loose meat suit. I have no
I
idea.
think that's what I have too. It's just kind of like a lack of core, like in some ways I really want to be in my body, and in some ways I'm not. Like Gideon will look and he's like, see this scar here? I'll walk and he'll say, oh my God, what did you do to yourself? I'm like, what? And he's like, do you have like the big gashing wound on your arm or something? And I'll say, what? And the look, I'm like, oh yeah, look at that. And I'm just like, not like completely oblivious that I have this, bleeding body part. So I think that, yeah, maybe that's part of the same kind of thing. So I need some advice, Michael. And I think I
Okay.
told you last time that I was taping my mouth shut. Did I tell you I was taping my mouth shut?
Not sure. Now, when I think of taping mouth shut, I think of Buteyko method and different breathing techniques.
Yes. I don't know what the Buteyko method is, do you? I know that it's
Yes.
a breathing technique. Have you tried it?
I tape my mouth shut literally every evening,
You
period.
do? Okay, so
Until end of story.
I
Every
just started.
single night.
Okay, so I just started taping my mouth shut because I was told of how we overbreathe and we don't have enough carbon dioxide. So I was taping my mouth shut, and what's been happening to me is I'm not needing as much sleep, or I'm having deeper sleep. I'm not sure if I should be
Oh,
worried
don't
or
you?
not. What?
No, 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 no. We get, and both Jessica and I do this, and we've done this practice for 5, 6, 7 years now. Is you get a deeper, more restful night's sleep. It's not that you're going to be asphyxiated. Your nasal passages actually open up more, relatively speaking. It's a natural mechanism of the body. And like a baby who only breathes through the nose so that they can drink mama's milk, we're going into a deeper rest and relax response.
Hmm.
When you have sleep apnea or you have your mouth open when you sleep, you're actually triggering a mild fight or flight response, an inflammatory response in the body.
So do
And
you
so,
need less sleep too?
relatively speaking, I get a better night's sleep. Now, I still, wow, I like 8 hours of sleep. I'm down in the six range with Jessica right now, which I remember a coach years ago said, do you like a lot of sleep? I'm like, no, I don't need it. He goes, well, once I put you to training, you will. I do a lot, which should mean I need a lot of sleep because I'm running and training and skating every
Hmm.
day, but I can do less with the tape and wake up less feeling like I've been run over by a truck when I
Hmm.
get up. It's deeper, more restful night's sleep. Now, there's a book I'd recommend. It's by a gentleman by the name of Patrick McKeown. Let me
Hmm.
get you the name of the book. It's a brilliant book. And this is a brilliant book, particularly for kids. His book is called The Oxygen Advantage.
Hmm.
He has another book called Close Your Mouth and another one called Asthma Free Naturally.
Hmm.
And he talks about how if we can teach our kids, because we start when we're a baby, we breathe through the nose. We have our first infection, like our nose clogs off, and we gasp when we breathe with our mouth. And then we have to remember to come back to breathing with our nose. If not, if we become nasal breathers, it changes the structure of
You
our
mouth
nasal passage
breathers, mouth
or mouth
breathers.
breather. Yeah, it changes the breathing, the structure of our nose, can create deviated septums and all sorts of things. It changes the structure of our jaws, and studies now show it can even lead to learning disabilities because we're continuously in that fight or flight response, which is literally rewiring the mind. And
Mm.
so, if we can help train kids again to be nasal breathers, massive differences, and asthma goes away. It's one of
Mm-hmm.
the coolest things. I was an asthmatic, not until this, till a few years before this. I was on Proventil and Singulair and some other kind of air and all sorts of things. And that all went away when I started changing my breathing patterns. And then when the tape came along, it's like my lungs, everything went to a whole new level. And so I
Mm.
swear by it each and every
So
evening. And I
did you find your athletic performance was better too with the tape?
way up. That's why when if you go on to mindfulrunning.org, that's one of our projects that we've done. I teach people all sorts of breathing techniques through the nose to be able to. We think CO2 bad. No, the more so CO2 and oxygen come in a package together, meaning they are buffered in a ratio in our bloodstream. What does that have to do with anything? The more CO2 you hold in your bloodstream, the more oxygen you can hold in your bloodstream as well.
Mm-hmm.
So when we train you to nasal breathe, what we're doing in essence is raising your VO2 max, your ability of your body to hold oxygen in the
Mm.
body and then have that oxygen available. So your athletic performance goes way, way up. But what's fascinating about it is my fastest run, my fastest skate, my fastest anything, I will feel slower because let's go back to in the flow, it is a more relaxed flow state of breath, not a instead it's slow and deep. You won't even know I'm working hard
When you're
because
running.
I'm breathing through the nose. Yes.
Yeah, I'm gonna try doing that today when I go running to just see what happens. But so
Well, I
my
would
yeah.
start. I would start. So if I was throwing my coaching hat for one
Yeah,
brief
tell me,
moment,
yeah.
um, you might need to start with walking. If you start with running, you're going to need to start with a jog. And there's going to be tension building up inside of you, this desire to open your mouth and breathe real quickly. What we want to focus on is slowing the breath down and only going, let your speed be dictated by your nasal breathing.
Hmm.
If you need to breathe through the mouth, slow down, practice at that level
Hmm.
of speed, and then over time work your way up. So your breath or your nasal breathing becomes your governor for your body to adapt.
Okay, good. That's a really good tip. So, the question I had about this shut your mouth piece, which I have been taping my mouth. It sounds like you have to keep do it for life. It's not like something you can do and then like,
Well, if I go to sleep now without it on, chances are I'm going to keep my mouth closed at least most of the night,
hmm,
but maybe not all of it. Like if I'm out of tape, I'm like, all right, what am I going to do?
right.
Um, but but I still do it regularly.
And then how long, when was it that you felt like you could get like you're like, okay, I've gotten the maximum benefits of this. I can see the results of it.
Well, it's a practice. It's sort of like doing meditation. So
Hmm.
yes, you don't have to keep your mouth or tape on your mouth all day long, but you become more cognizant of your breath. Become more cognizant of nasal breathing.
Oh,
When
no,
I
I
do a
meant like at
meditation,
night when you're sleeping, like for the mouth
I have
shutting.
it on all night.
Oh no, but like do you remember when you did it 5 years ago, what the progression was from like, oh yeah, I'm noticing it, like, wow, I'm really noticing it to like, okay, I've gotten the full benefits of it.
Well, what happened is maybe it was you notice it right away after the first few days of trying it on before going to sleep, going, oh my God, what's going to happen to me? Which
Hmm.
is why I recommend what's called paper tape, hypoallergenic paper tape,
Hmm.
because it's not very strong adhesive. You don't have to worry about panicking. You open your mouth, the tape comes off. It's super simple. And then maybe I was around a month in where I started thinking about it less until I don't remember what month it is. We ran out of tape and then you go to sleep and you go, wait, I'm not getting as good of a night's sleep. And you quickly
Mm.
run back and get some tape.
That's interesting. And then I'm trying to figure out if I'm getting enough REM sleep because that's a thing that I'm wondering because I wake up kind of like things aren't quite, I'm like still trying to consolidate and like somehow my mind, I wake up kind of scattered, which is I'm well rested, but my mind is scattered. And so my friend was like, oh, she was reading a book on sleep saying, well, maybe you need to do things for your REM sleep. But I exercise every day. I just can't
There's
figure it out.
there's so much we can talk about with sleep. We have a whole program called the Magical Evening Routine.
Oh, okay,
We
cool.
built on, and you get that at inspirenationuniversity.com. It's like a 40 video module on sleep because we dove right into this. But here's going to be a layman's excuse, and there's a lot more that we can talk about, and maybe next show we can really dive into sleep. That might be fun. Which is, why not? Well, let's make next week about sleep, provided something else exciting doesn't come
Yeah,
up.
that'd be great.
Kind, gentle, easy, good. The right now, what I'm witnessing with my coaching clients and with people in my boot camps is there is an energy in the field where we are not, as a species right now, getting a very deep night's sleep. We're
Interesting.
popping away. There's an energy, there's a freneticism, that's even a word, something to do with the chaos that we're all in, this energy building, which is why when I talk at my boot camps, I go, this month we're going to work on recharging and grounding for whatever comes our way. And people go, well, what do you mean for whatever comes your way? And I'm like, all right, I'm not gloom and doom, but the energy is building to something, folks. And that's part of this change. It just is. And that's why people are popping awake, as far as I can tell, in the middle of the night.
Interesting.
Or not getting a deep night's sleep. Now, the one piece of advice I'm going to give you tonight, and then next week we'll talk about evening routine and ritual. Set intention. Go to bed intentionally. The way I look at it is make bedtime ceremony. You made this ceremony. You brought out the drums. Go to incense. Go to candles. Go to angels, whatever it is. And march your way down in the most sacred way into the most beautiful night's sleep. Just doing that and setting intention will change how much deep sleep you get.
Okay, I'm going to do it this week, and then we'll talk next week to see how that works.
Perfect.
And I know you have to go, so anything else?
Imagine flow. Pretend, feel that you're in flow. Ask yourself, why is it so easy for me to get into flow? Why is everything coming to me with such grace and ease? Why are things now working out better than ever? Why are doors opening before me? And just envision that. You watch the news and you go, why is this building to something special? Look for ways to reframe inflow as positives. Allow universe to connect the dots for you. And just relax into it. What else can we do at this time? I surrender.
I think actually the only thing I would add is that, for some reason, the idea of freedom comes along. It feels like flow in some ways gives you so much freedom because really all the plans and the controlling are as a result of wanting to create the optimal result. That's really why we do any of this. Right. And so with flow, we are given a free pass and someone else will do it in a much better way than we could ever imagine doing it. So there's freedom.
The highest good of all.
Yeah, there's a lot of freedom that comes in doing that. So those are my only additions.
I like it. Woohoo! So for everyone out there, this is Michael Sampler.
And CJ Liu from the Fired Up with CJ show.
A Southern Comfort.
Saying stay grounded.
Be well, have fun, stay grounded, get in that flow.
It means so much to me that you're listening to the show. I would love your support in any way by giving me comments below or to subscribe to the show or share the show with friends. Thank you again for your support. Love and blessings.
Above and beyond all else, shine bright.
Woohoo!